Let's invite into the stream Logitech CEO Bracken Darrell. Good to have you here. And
Thanks so much
where
for
was
having
the
me.
growth? Because when I think of Logitech, I think of why spend $100 on an Apple-produced mouse when I can get a mouse from you folk for a lot cheaper? Is the growth in the accessories, or what's driving this?
Yeah, we're really driving our growth behind four big megatrends that have been going on for years. The first one is the one that a lot of people are talking about now, which is video everywhere. So I'm on a Logitech webcam right now, and we also enable conference rooms. So that business grew dramatically. We're also in the gaming business. So, gaming's been on a very long-term trend. Esports will become the biggest collection of sports in the world. Strong growth there. Work from anywhere. We do make mice, we make keyboards, we make headsets. So setting up new workspaces and then upgrading those workspaces is a big growth trend. And then the last one is this democratization of content where, people, our kids and everybody we know seems to be creating a podcast or streaming something. And we enable that with microphones, with a service called Streamlabs, with our webcams. So we're in a lot of the spaces that are really critical to what's going on right now. And those trends are going to continue.
Bracken, there's been a lot of demand for your product. We talked about it in the previous couple of quarters. You've had trouble keeping up with that demand. And have you addressed the supply issues? Are you still seeing some supply constraints with some of your products?
We've addressed some. We're still constrained in a few categories, webcams, microphones, but we're trying to unlock more and more demand where it's really needed in the marketplace. And, webcams in particular, they're used by educators and doctors and of course people like you and me. So we're really working very hard to unlock that supply, and we're getting there.
Bracken, Dan Roberts here. You mentioned those four trends that are helping your business, and you talked about those trends 1 quarter ago when you came on our show. And at the time you said, look, it isn't just the pandemic. It's not just a pandemic boost. And of course, as we hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel here with the pandemic, we're now talking a lot about which trends that accelerated during this time are going to end and come to an abrupt, and which ones are here to stay and are going to continue. What do you see happening in terms of kind of the future of the office? A lot of people are betting that remote flexible work is now here to stay even beyond the pandemic. And how might that affect your business since your sales have really seen a boost thanks to people working from home?
Yeah, I can't, I think I could speak for a lot of CEOs and a lot of companies out there. While people are tired of being at home alone, kind of working in their home kitchen or home office, they like working at home. And I think when people start to open up offices again, and they will, we're going to be in a world of hybrid work where a lot more people are going to be working part of the time in the office, 2 or 3 days at home. So the result of that for us is going to be that we're going to continue to see a very strong, a robust workspace market, whether it's keyboards or mice or webcams and headsets. And we're also going to see people enabling conference rooms with lots of conference rooms, because they're going to need video in those conference rooms to do the video calling with all the people who are outside of those. So I'm quite optimistic about where this is going to go long term for us.
When you talk long term, though, do you put a timeline as to when that growth might peak? Because there will come a point where it reaches saturation, won't it?
I don't really. I mean, these are super long term trends. If you think about the four that I just named, I'll take gaming, for example. It's hard for me to imagine that gaming doesn't become the biggest collection of sports in the world. Biggest in spectatorship, biggest in participation. The same thing for streaming your own content. I think those are going to be huge. And when you think about work, even as people go back to work, we've got lots of opportunities to upgrade, whether it's ergonomics or aesthetics because it's part of your home decor, or just functionality. We've been innovating a really long term for a very long time. We see opportunities across the board.
Bracken, real quick, we only have about a minute left here, but I just want to ask you about prices. When you're seeing the type of demand that you have seen over the last several quarters, looking ahead, are you looking at adjusting your pricing at all, potentially raising your pricing or changing your promotional strategy as a result?
Well, we certainly did. We really pulled back on promotions dramatically in the beginning of this, because promotions were normally used during this, especially during seasonal periods, to really go after market opportunities that wouldn't be there if we didn't. But we really haven't promoted, so we've really pulled our promotion way back this year, and I think it'll stay back for another quarter or so, and then we'll put some promotion back in.